I think it's easy to say that the years 2006 to 2012 were easily the biggest years for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit since he was created in 1927. For one thing, it was the time he returned to Disney after 80 years. It was also the years he made a mainstream comeback, even if it wasn't for very long. So let's look into these years in Oswald's history, which prove that just because something is forgotten, doesn't mean it can't come back. Now this story starts not at Disney, but over at Universal Pictures, but they still had power over Oswald. And just because Oswald wasn't starring in any cartoon shorts, it doesn't mean he wasn't being utilized. What if I told you that Epic Mickey wasn't Oswald's first appearance in a video game? Well, in 1996, he appeared in a Woody Woodpecker game for the Sega Master System, which was called... Hey Google, can you help me out with this?
Férias frustradas do Pica-Pau.
Now, I've got absolutely no clue what happens in the game, since I don't speak Portuguese, but what I do know is that Oswald holds a paintbrush in this game. Okay, so now we get into the decade of the 2000s, and it becomes pretty obvious that Oswald wasn't entirely forgotten by Universal, and he was still considered part of the Woody Woodpecker universe. His first contribution in the new millennia was in another video game, being 2001's Woody Woodpecker escaped from Buzz Buzzard Park for the Game Boy Color. This was actually his first appearance in his blue outfit, which would remain his design for the rest of his time with Universal. Oswald appeared in some comics in Mexico, but that was about it until 2004. You see, back in 2001, Universal Studios Japan opened as a direct competitor to Tokyo Disneyland. Universal had already successfully been using the rest of Walter Lance's cartoons in Universal Japan, and looking for some more material to use to compete against Disney, since a big selling point of these parks was the use of Western characters. So imagine how they reacted when they found out that they legally had the rights to Walt Disney's first cartoon star. Oswald was soon integrated into Universal Studios Japan. As well as merchandise, he also featured on walls and shop decor. As for the merch, Universal spared no expense. From what photos still exist of merch being sold there, you could choose from a wide variety of toys. There were big ones, small ones, ones with full sets of clothes, or ones just with yellow shorts. These products were available as prizes in claw machines. Also available to buy were Oswald watches, some of which used Oswald's hands as the watch hands, much like the OG Mickey Ingersoll ones. It looked like Universal was going all out for Oswald's big return, at least in Japan. What this would have culminated in, we'll never know, since in 2006, Disney acquired the rights to Oswald from Universal, which quickly put an end to any Universal merchandise. So Disney finally got Oswald back, in exchange for letting real human sportscaster Al Michaels out of his ESPN contract, which Disney owns, so he can go commentate for NBC Universal. So yes, Disney did exchange the cartoon rabbit Oswald for the real human Al Michaels. He seemed to take it pretty well, saying he'll be a trivia answer someday. Now, the reason Disney gave for the return of Oswald was to bring Walt Disney's legacy together, but the real reason would be known later. I'll get to that. But while Disney's first big Oswald project was in development, Disney did what Disney does best, and merchandised the heck out of Oswald. The first plush toy of Oswald was released in 2007 for $60 at Walt Disney World stores. It featured Oswald in his black and white design, since it looked like his blue shorts hadn't become a staple yet. A decorative statue was also released in Disney stores in 2007, and a pin welcoming Oswald back to Disney was released. All these bits of merch can fetch a pretty penny online, since they're relatively rare. Oswald's first big release was in the Walt Disney Treasures line of DVDs. The Adventures of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was released in 2007 during the 7th wave of Walt Disney Treasures sets. This particular set is notable since instead of the regular silver cases, the Oswald set received a gold case, which is supposed to represent Oswald's importance to the overall Disney legacy. Although it could be interpreted as Disney subtly telling us that Oswald is better than everyone else Disney related. Yes, definitely that. The discs themselves contain all the then found Disney Oswald cartoons, totaling to 13 out of the 26 shorts, and a documentary on Ub Iwerks, one of Oswald's primary animators, and a co-creator of Mickey Mouse. The set, just like all Walt Disney Treasure sets, was limited to 120,000 copies. Now let's talk missing cartoons. As I just said, when Disney regained the rights to Oswald and all 26 of the Disney shorts, only a select few of them were in Universal's ownership physically, being Trolley Troubles, Oh Teacher, Great Guns, All Wet, and The Ocean Home, all of which were from 1930s reissues of the shorts with synchronized sound. So Disney basically bought a film set where most of the films weren't even there. But recovery efforts were underway at Disney, even if it wasn't publicly advertised. Within the next year of 2006 to 2007, Disney managed to recover 8 more cartoons from various places that weren't present in Universal's archives, making them able to be a part of the Walt Disney Treasures box set. And then Oswald's big break came in 2010. Then we got Epic Mickey. You know how I said that in 2006, Disney didn't reveal the real reason they wanted Oswald back? Yeah, well, here's the reason. The original concept for Epic Mickey was a product of a 2004 think tank, and Oswald was a part of the concept even then. Disney's then COO, Bob Iger, liked the idea so much that once he replaced Michael Eisner as Disney CEO, he made it his mission to get Oswald back so he could make Epic Mickey a reality. And he did. In 2010, Epic Mickey was released, and Oswald was once again thrust into the spotlight. In the game, he was the ruler of the Wasteland, a world created for forgotten, strictly Disney, cartoon characters. And he had a bit of a grudge against Mickey, since he thinks Mickey stole the fame that belonged to him. Oh, and Mickey also created a monster that ravaged his home and killed his lover. But they make up in the end. The game was a huge success at launch, the online Disney store running out of stock within hours. Alongside the game, a graphic novel retelling of the game's events and a mini-series of prequel comics titled Tales of Wasteland were released. The prequel comics pretty much all featured Oswald as the main character, since Mickey doesn't make appearances in them. Oswald had a couple of notable things happen to him in 2011. He starred in his first ever non-Epic Mickey Disney comic, which was published at Christmas time in Norway, titled A Magical Christmas, although not in English. It didn't make its way over to the States until 2015, where it was a part of the Walt Disney's Comics and Stories series of comics, at number 726, retitled to Just Like Magic. And now we got another recovered Oswald cartoon. In late 2011, one of the Lost Oswald shorts, Hungry Hobos, was put up on auction. And according to the book Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Search for the Lost Disney Cartoons, there was a whopping 2 people interested in purchasing this lost gem, one of them being Disney themselves. And of course they won the auction. Although the expected selling price did go up quite a bit once it was clear that Disney was interested. In November of 2012, the next installments of the Epic Mickey series were released, being Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, and Epic Mickey Power of Illusion. Both of them featured Oswald in major roles, with Oswald as a consistent partner throughout Epic Mickey 2, controlled by an AI, or for him to be controlled by a second player to play as him. Power of Illusion didn't feature Oswald as a playable character. He just sorta hangs out while Mickey goes out adventuring and gives status reports when Mickey returns. But Epic Mickey wasn't destined for a long lifespan, since the second game received mixed reviews from critics and audiences alike, and even though the 3DS spin-off was relatively well received, the game series ended with the closure of Junction Point Studios, the main developer of the 2 main Epic Mickey games. But even though Oswald's first major outing didn't land particularly well, he still cropped up here and there. With the overhaul of Disney's California Adventure in 2012, and the addition of Buena Vista Street, came Oswald's first presence in the Disney parks, in the form of a gift shop, which was dressed up as Oswald's gas station. Upon opening, the shop stocked up all the Oswald merch, such as Oswald ears, Oswald t-shirts and plushies, as well as things specific to the gas station. Oswald also made his debut as a costume character in 2014, and he would appear for meet and greets near his gas station. He stopped appearing around 2018 or so, though recently he has been appearing more frequently, although that might have just been done for the Disney 100 celebrations. And Oswald finally made his grand return to Japan, with a meet and greet area at Tokyo Disney Sea, in 2014. Although 2013 spelled the end of Epic Mickey, it did give us some previously lost Oswald cartoons. Both Africa Before Dark and Sleigh Bells were located in Austria and the UK respectively, although it did take a couple of years for Disney to get a copy of Sleigh Bells. We also saw Oswald's first appearance in a Disney animation since 1928, with Get a Horse. The short was made in tribute to late 20s, early 30s Disney animation, and Oswald made a cameo right at the very end, where he pokes his head out from the side of the stage. I would have liked him to be consistent throughout the whole cartoon, but I guess it just wouldn't have been realistic in the era Get a Horse supposedly takes place in. Back over in Japan, Oswald got his own animated Christmas greeting card, which was his first solo piece of animation from Disney since 1928. 2014 saw the release of the Disney film Big Hero 6, where Oswald makes a short cameo of a sticker on a ceiling. It also saw the recovery of more Oswald shorts, being the first short produced, Poor Papa, from a 16mm film reel in England, along with Empty Socks and The Old Swimming Hole, which were located in Norway and Belgium respectively. Oswald also made his first mobile game appearance in the Sim Sim line game. Disney's big animated flick of 2016 was Zootopia, which saw another 2D Oswald cameo, this time as graffiti on a subway train. Oswald was also included in the mobile game Disney Emoji Blitz, and his special ability was to use his helicopter ears to clear emojis off the board. In 2017, we got another Oswald cameo, this time in the Mickey Mouse short Canned. 2018 saw the recovery of yet another Oswald cartoon. Kinda. 2 minutes of the short, Neck and Neck, was found in Japan when a man named... Google, can you help me out again?
Yasushi Watambe
matched a film reel he'd purchased in 1951 with storyboards and scripts of a cartoon, which were contained within the Search for Lost Disney Cartoons book. 2018 also saw an Oswald cameo in the Mickey Mouse short series, in the short Year of the Dog, where he has his own soda brand. He was also a part of the Disney Fan Days event at Disneyland Paris, along with Hortensia, who made her Disney Park debut. 2019 saw the launch of Disney Plus, with a whole plethora of brand new material. Surely they had something Oswald related planned, right? I mean, how could they not? Well, it turns out they did, but it was cancelled. Yeah, not everything ends with a happy ending. Now let's move on to something that actually did happen. 2023 was the year of Disney's 100th anniversary, so of course they're reaching back into the archives to celebrate. Well, just back to 1927 that is. I don't think any Alice comedy stuff was released in 2023. Oswald got a ton of new merch compared to previous years, which included a new ear hat, plush toy of him from rival Romeo's, a couple of new Funko Pops, a lamp, his first Lego minifigure, a Lego Brickheads, and a metal statue. 2023 was also the year that we got the first hand-drawn Disney Oswald short since 1928. The short, which was just titled Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, was only a minute or so long, but since it was traditionally animated, and Disney's hand-drawn department really isn't what it used to be, it was nice to see Oswald get even a minute of love from Disney. And I thought we all assumed that was about it from Disney in 2023, but boy were we wrong. He was the focus of an entire line of clothing from luxury clothing brand Givenchy, with another advertisement containing hand-drawn animation. Then he appeared on a billboard, also with hand-drawn animation. Not sure what he was promoting on that billboard, but he was there. He also appeared as a limited-time character in Disney Speedstorm, which in a weird way brings Junction Point's Scrap Disney Racers game into reality. His final appearance in Disney media for 2023 was a cameo in the 100th anniversary short Once Upon a Studio, where we see his first interaction with Mickey since Epic Mickey 2, 11 years earlier. Now we're 8 months into 2024, and not a ton of new Oswald media has been released. But I'm willing to look past that, since the one piece of Oswald media we are getting is Epic Mickey Rebrushed, a remake of the original Epic Mickey. We can assume that Oswald will play the same role he did in the original, and we don't know anything beyond that. Out of the 3 trailers we've gotten in the past few months, there's been a total of 1 shot of Oswald, and it's this one. Yep, that's it. But oh well, we'll all be able to see him in glorious HD when Rebrushed launches next month. He was also added into Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is kinda like Disney's version of Animal Crossing, as one of the villages. And that's where we are now, in 2024. Hopefully Rebrushed sells well, so Oswald can get more attention, and we can get more bits of Oswald media. But until that happens, we'll just have to make do with what we got. Oh, and if I forgot something, put it in the comments. I'll probably make a pinned comment for all the things I missed.